So my name is Linda Hogan. I'm the Professor of Ecumenics here at Trinity College, and I'm an ethicist, which means that much of my work is focused on looking at the ethical principles and frameworks surrounding a lot of the contemporary concerns that we have. My role in the Slándáil project was really looking at the ethical provenance of the data that was collected in the project, looking at the ethical issues associated with the use of the data and the governance of the data. I also played a role in the translation of that ethical framework into the legal license.
So what we are empowering people to do with Slándáil is not just take away our technology and do what they like with it, pay us a license fee. We are granting them a license of the intellectual property that collectively makes the Slándáil system.
So I suppose one of the things that we were very aware of in the ethics framework is that emergency managers need to collect vast amounts of data for a particular purpose and a particular period of time. The data that's collected is proportionate, so we only collect the data that's necessary. Also, in the process, the system allows one to keep a log or a journal of decisions that are made and why they're made in relation to the data. And so again, if there are any questions subsequently, we can look back and see why decisions were made and what values were underlying those decisions. All of the time there is this sense that the governance of the data is underpinned by a strong ethical framework that recognises that privacy is an important value, but also that needs to be, I suppose, contextualised in relation to where there are emergencies, and the emergency responders need that data in order to save lives or keep people safe. Emergency responders initially, I think, were very reluctant to see the significance and the use of the ethical framework, and what we realised was that we needed much more interaction with people in the field of law, human rights law, and data protection, copyright law. So in order to translate the ethical principles and framework into law and into the protocols. So that was a technical challenge that we faced, and one that I think we managed to overcome fairly successfully. Well, I think we had some very good collaborations on the project. First of all, I would say that the collaboration with the emergency responders was very good, and from my perspective as an ethicist, it was really interesting to hear how important ultimately the ethical framework was for the emergency managers, and we had very many seminars and conversations where I think we teased out a lot of the ethical issues, and that was very, very satisfying. I think in addition there was a lot of very good collaboration between the ethicists and the human rights lawyers and those in the legal profession in terms of I suppose thinking about how derogations from law in situations of emergency can have a strong ethical grounding, and then looking at how they can be translated into a protocol that works alongside the system itself. In many contexts, so when we develop ethical frameworks, they are voluntary, they're something that we hope that people will adopt. But in this case, indeed one of the milestones of the project was that the emergency managers had to approve of the ethical framework. They had to find that it was meaningful for them, that it helped them in their work, helped them to think about the key ethical issues that they faced, and then provided a framework in which they could function. It is important, I think, that we have a set of values that people can agree on, even in the context of value pluralism. Value pluralism really allows us to connect with the contexts in which people function, but it also, I think, provides a platform from which to generate, first of all, debate and then agreement.